This is the funnel that I've been running for the past year, and it generates me up to $20,000 in a single week at my current stage, having only 5,300 followers. And it's no surprise that this is the exact same funnel that I have all of my clients running as well, and they're able to get insane results like 5K contracts or $3,000 invoices regularly. And the reason that we run this specific funnel is for 7 main buyer conditions that we need to meet in order to have ease of sale. And I know 7 sounds like a lot, but once you understand them truly at their core, you will never look at client acquisition for your agency the same way ever again. Now, before we just go into what the actual funnel looks like and break everything down, I want to just show a little bit of how long I've actually been doing this. If you look here, I started my agency in about February of 2025. Well, I had been trying to get a client for about 4 months before then, but once I had kind of dialed things in, this is when I started to make my first little bit of money, right? So we hit $3,000 off one client in February. I think I got paid right in the beginning of March. Then we continued to grow. We went up to 4,000, then we hit 12,000, then we hit 16,000. So over the course of these about 4 months, we went from practically zero to over $16,000 a month in reoccurring revenue. And when I was asked by other people in the space back in June how I was actually getting these clients, I would tell people, you need to do anything else. I don't do any outbound. You just need to post organic content. That's the only way and the best way that I had found to get leads. This is just my personal experience. I'm going to show and share with you guys what I have found as a successful agency owner in this space, working across 3 different niches and different parallels, what the best acquisition method is and why it works so well for me. I'm not saying that this is the only way to do it. I'm just sharing my personal experience. I was working with coaches trying to understand how to run ads, how to do mass outbound, how to try other things, because in my head, that's what everyone preaches. Everyone preaches running ads. Everyone preaches doing these crazy outbound strategies where you're sending thousands of SMS every day. Maybe you're doing hundreds of cold calls, hire VAs, have DM setters, Loom outreach. And I'll tell you guys right now, this is what I have found to be the most successful way to acquire clients consistently at a high price point and have little churn. So you can literally see, I would tell my coaches, I would say, look, I got 0 leads from ads, but my TikTok live gets me 3 to 6 qualified leads every single day. One of them is doing $150 or $150,000 a month in ecom without running any meta ads yet. The leads that I was getting at this time were highly qualified in the ecom niche. Now, I have worked with business to business agencies. I have worked with e-commerce stores. I have worked with local businesses. I have done the whole rounds of all the different niches that you can really work with in this space. And it has worked consistently every single time without fail. Now, as you can see here, the biggest misconception that I get all the time is I don't have enough followers. How are people going to buy from me if I don't have a lot of followers? And the truth is, when you're selling a high ticket service, say anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, you don't need that many buyers in order to make a lot of money. Even if you're doing split payments and people are paying 5K up front and then 5K later, how many people do you realistically need? You need 5 people to make $25,000 in that single month, and that will also be reoccurring next month. Now, I have an average cost per follower, or revenue per follower, I should say, of about $40. Every follower that I gain is worth about $40, after all conversions happen, which means if I'm consistently gaining around 1,000 followers per month, which has been happening over the past few months, I am consistently making around $40,000 every single month. But recently, we have had a few shifts in our content and a few shifts in our approach and positioning that has actually allowed us to collect up to $20,000 in a single week, which is astronomical increase, exponential increase, as opposed to what we were collecting before. But why is this possible? Why am I, with only 5,000 followers, able to make such a high amount of active income without doing any cold outreach, no paid ads, completely organic, $0 acquisition costs? Well, this is how the funnel actually works. We start by posting highly specific niched content to solve problems for our exact ideal client, right? So these kind of videos, you'll see they don't get a lot of views. The most viewed video on this screen right now has less than 10,000 views. And even then, most of them average anywhere between 3,000 to 5,000 views. So it's not about going viral. It's not about having this crazy top of funnel where you're getting hundreds of thousands of views in order to get these kind of results. It's literally about niching down, getting almost as little views as possible so that you're actually talking to the person that you want to buy your service. It's not about talking to a million different people. And the reason that this works so well is because they will relate to everything that you're saying. When they relate to what you're saying, they'll pay more attention, right? What we do is we talk about their specific pain and we show them the direction that they need to take if they want to solve these problems. I'll talk about why I'm able to make over $30,000 a month, but you may feel like you're stuck under 20 and that's frustrating. And I'll call out the fact that that is a frustrating feeling, and I'll explain what the difference is between what I'm doing and what you're doing, right? And when I do this, I also build this social proof where I'm giving such immense value. I'm showing that I'm able to cash collect $7,000 in just 2 days, completely organic for my agency. And you'll see that and you go, what could he possibly be doing that I'm missing? I may be posting content, or maybe I know I should be posting content, but what is this missing link? I feel like my videos don't get any views. I feel like people don't message me. I feel like my profile might not be set up. I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to post. These are all problems that I understand these solutions to, and I demonstrate that I understand these solutions through these stories and through my long form content. If you look at this video here, this is a 42-minute live presentation about me breaking down the exact problems that keep your agency stuck between $10,000 to $20,000 a month, and exactly how to fix it and scale to over $35,000 a month, exactly like I did, step by step. And if you look here, the people who watch this video have such conviction in what I'm saying and understand that I know their problems better than they do, because not only, like I said, have I been in this position before, but I solved it. I have gone from $3,000 a month to over $40,000 a month and having these $20,000 weeks by using the exact mechanism that I am showing you in these videos. I am breaking down step by step exactly how to do it. It is not anything that I haven't done myself. It is not anything that I don't understand. It is exactly how I did it, how this video is being created in the first place. Why you're watching this video right now and you've already been watching for 5 minutes is because of these mechanisms and these buyer conditions that we are going to explain. Every single one of my clients runs the exact same funnel that I do. That is the entire purpose, is because when something works and when something is repeatable and when you understand the psychology and what people need to feel and what emotions you need to evoke in order to create a qualified buyer and attract a qualified buyer, it becomes a repeatable process among any niche, among any parallel, among any kind of service that you are delivering, whether you're a fitness coach, whether you are a coach for agencies or anything like that, whether you're providing meta ads for e-commerce stores, local businesses, SEO, Google ads, anything, email marketing, every single method that we talk about that utilizes these 7 core principles that the buyer needs to feel, the conditions that need to be met. It is a repeatable process every single time. And you curate these personal brands. These videos on my page are cohesive. They give you an understanding of what my life actually looks like and how my processes work, right? So back to this video, when these people book a call, because obviously there's enough intrigue, there's enough conviction, and there's enough desire to want to see what comes next and actually implement what I talk about, they book a call. And you'll see my call booking is very consistent, and I'm actually very strict about who I allow to get on a call with me, because I am not here to waste your time and I'm not here to waste my time. I only get on calls with people who understand what is happening, understand the steps that they need to take moving forward, and understand what I am here to provide for them. If you do not understand these things, I encourage you to watch more of my content until you have a firm understanding and a solid grasp on what the next steps will look like and what we will work with together to create this funnel. These qualified calls have to go through a process. They have to answer questions about their agency. They need to be honest, and they need to tell me exactly what they are struggling with and where they are at now, so that I understand if I'm even able to help them. If someone comes to me and says, hey, I'm making $1,000 a month, maybe this is not where you need to be starting at. This is not your starting point. This is for people who have already clients who are making them money and they're struggling with scaling the acquisition because you're either relying on manual cold outreach, you're paying for cold outreach and you know the conversions are low and you want to increase your conversions, or you want to completely switch to a new acquisition method, building a personal brand. If you're running ads, your ads probably aren't converting as much as you would like them to either. And this is the exact way that you can increase conversions on both cold outreach and paid ads, and also build an organic funnel that is going to bring you qualified leads without you having to put any input besides posting the videos. Now, back to these calls that we're booking, every single one of these calls showed, and every single one of these calls was qualified because of the booking process. It's not just a link to get on the call. It's a link with questions that talk about your situation and give me enough to prepare to give you the solution that you need. And when these people get on the call, there is such conviction in what we are talking about that every single one of them actually closed. This was a week with 100% close rate because of the conviction from not only the videos that had been posted that talk about your exact problems and the active solutions that you can take to fix them, but then going in deeper, explaining your pain back to you, showing you what you are missing in your processes today, and then building more social proof by explaining how the process works for me and explaining how the changes in the market are relating to the new solutions that we are coming up with in real time. Then I will once again show you social proof that I am not the only person doing this. There are dozens of other people running the exact same system, and that's why it works, is because if everyone's doing it, you know it works. The problem is, the people who are doing it well. The people who aren't doing it don't even know how to do it. That is the problem. There is such a gap between understanding what it is and actually being able to execute it properly. And this is exactly the bridge that I am here to help you guys close. Because when you have these qualified calls and you're charging what you should be charging for your service because you are creating such an outcome that is so life-changing, you are able to charge what you are worth, and your deliverables will reflect in the processes. So this is how we were able to cash collect over $20,000 in this single week. You can see right here, all of the forms have been signed. I had to blur out the emails, and all of the calls have been booked from this exact funnel. This is the exact funnel right here. And like I said, it's no surprise that every single one of my clients is running this exact same system. Over $10,000 earned, $3,500 invoice, $5,000 contract, client, all from one person. It's insane. 3 clients before the end of the month, more signed. It is consistent because they're running the exact same funnel. And I am helping them build this exact same funnel. We have, and I calculated out, over $750,000 in revenue generated from this single funnel from me and my clients in the last 6 months alone. That is over $100,000 among just the few of us that we have cash collected from this funnel in the agency space in the last 6 months alone. Now let's take a look at the 2 most popular methods of client acquisition in our day today now, because everyone bounces back and forth, is preaching different things. You'll see guys who used to absolutely love cold calling and love posting about how to do cold outreach, maybe even telling you, hey, I'm running ads for my agency and we're making all this money, but now they're switching. They're switching back to this organic content because they are finally seeing the truth. They are seeing what has been here the whole time and what I have been running for the last year. They're finally starting to see what is going on in the market and why people are buying. They're starting, and I say starting, to understand these buyer conditions, because if they watch these videos, their content would change again. Once again, you're watching in real time the people who are supposed to be your teachers that are adapting to new changes in the market that I have been actively implementing for over a year. Look, here's cold outreach. This is exactly how this process goes every single time. You scrape the leads, you are going to send them a message, send them a call. You are interrupting their day without them wanting to hear from you. You're going to try and pitch them and beg them to get on a meeting. And on this meeting, you are going to have to sell hard, because the time that it takes from this initial outreach to actually getting them on the call, let's say it's about 3 days or maybe even less. There is not enough time in 3 days to build enough trust and conviction in your service in order for them to want to buy. And also, you're going to struggle to charge what you're really worth. You will not close a $10,000 deal from cold outreach. It's just going to be extremely massively hard. Maybe you can. Maybe you're the best salesman on earth. Maybe you have an incredible offer. Maybe you have the best lead scraping, but it's not going to be consistent. It is a complete volume game. You might have to reach out to 100,000 businesses before you can even make your first $10,000. And think about the time that you are wasting by doing this cold outreach instead of putting it into compounding assets. That's the word I was looking for. Compounding assets that are going to continue to get views, continue to get you leads, and continue to grow your brand and grow your business as you post more, right? With 100,000 cold calls, 100,000 messages that you have had to scrape, you are also probably paying at this point to scrape the leads, or you're investing an insane amount of time. Either way, these 2 these two extremely valuable assets could be used elsewhere to generate you a higher amount of money and a higher ROI on what you're actually doing. So here's the entire thing. You're interrupting someone who did not ask to hear from you. You're starting every conversation at zero from someone who does not know who you are, what you sell, why you're reaching out to them. It is extremely high volume, low conversion, and by design, it is one of the most exhausting ways to try and get clients. It is not fun. I don't know a single person who enjoys doing cold outreach. And for what it gets you, it is the worst, like honestly, the worst way to try and scale your business. If you have nothing but time and you have absolutely no money, yes, go do cold outreach. That's not who this video is for. That's not what this mechanism is for. If you are starting from absolute zero, this is not for you. This is for the people who have built a business and are tired and are exhausted by the ways that you get clients in the beginning and have tried running paid ads, or maybe they haven't run paid ads yet, but they want to scale and grow at a faster rate than their competitors, and they want to actually leave an impact on the market and stand out. That is exactly who this is for. This is what this mechanism does for your brand. Now, if you actually saw my DMs, you would understand how pointless it is. I do not respond to any cold outreach because my entire brand is based off of organic inbound. Why would I ever actually buy from cold outreach if my entire philosophy is that people should come to you if you have a good product? Look at all of these people who send me messages daily. I probably get dozens of messages every single day asking for the exact same thing, pitching the exact same thing. And without fail, every single one of them does not have any content posted on their page. Maybe if they had content, I would be able to indulge and kind of watch what they do, learn about them, understand them as a person, and want to buy from them. But because all of these pages are empty and there's nothing on them for me to want to work with them, they fall flat. Every single one of them falls flat. I do not respond to any of them. And look, this is what you guys look like when you're following up. I did not delete any messages. This is exactly how the conversation went with me in this cold outreach. Voice memo, voice memo, voice memo. This started in December all the way into March. That we're in March now. This is ridiculous. The amount of this is harassment. Genuinely, this is harassment. Do you think this is going to make someone want to buy from you? Because this is what it looks like. It looks like desperation. And by design, you are putting yourself at a lower level where the person that you're outreaching to has all the power and the authority in this situation. And it's not even about this whole authority dynamic. It's just about, by design, they are in control of the entire process. They're in control if they reach back out to you. They're in control if they actually show up to the meeting or not. They have all of the power here. And if you really want this client, you're probably gonna have to bend your rules because they're gonna say, hey, you're charging $2K a month. That's a lot. Can you do it for 1.5? What are you gonna say? No? You barely ever get this far, so of course you're going to take them on a discount, and now you're doing X amount of work. They say, hey, can you do this one extra task? Otherwise, we're going to have to leave. Okay, yeah, I'll do that extra task. Oh, can you do these 3 other tasks for me? Yeah, okay. So now you're getting paid $1,500 a month when you know you're worth $2,000, plus you're doing an extra $2,000 worth of tasks that you never wanted to do for them in the first place, that you did not pitch them on. And now you're doing $4,000 worth of work for $1,500, and you can't even get more clients to replace them because you don't have a system for consistent quality clients. Now let's move on to paid ads, because everyone thinks this is the next logical solution. Well, if I want people to come to me, why don't I just pay to have people come to me the exact same way that I'm running ads for my clients? If it works for my clients, why won't it work for me? Well, 99% of your clients are business to consumer. And these kinds of ads work completely different than business to business. So not only is there a slight lack of understanding on how to sell business to business, but you're running them as business to consumer. So you're spending money now to do the exact same thing. You're interrupting somebody's day who did not want or ask to hear from you, no matter how good your call out is, no matter how good your hook is, your script, anything. At the end of the day, you're interrupting them. It is not a natural occurrence, and they can see that you are paying to put this exact message in front of them, and already that is going to create some level of resistance. They are not going to want to engage with this. You can book them on a meeting, maybe they book themselves. You already understand, if you're running ads, that show rate is very low, because these people, if they're booking meetings with you from ads, guess how many other ads they're booking meetings with? So this becomes another game of, they have 10 options and you're trying to convince them, you're once again selling hard, trying to convince them that you are the best option out of everybody in the world, because they don't believe it yet. again, this process, this time from trying to get clients is so small. Like I said, maybe 3 days in between them seeing the ad and getting on the meeting with you. There is not enough value that you can pack into those 3 days where it's going to make sense for them to go with you as a no-brainer. Like I said, if you're selling a $10,000 offer, you're going to struggle. And when I say, Josh, I only charge $2,000, well, maybe that's another reason why we're struggling to scale, is because you haven't unlocked the ability to talk to people who would pay $10,000 for something. You are using these acquisition methods that attract low quality clients. If you want to scale, you will have to charge more. Otherwise, you're going to kill your margins. I have several videos on Instagram about killing your margins because you're having $2,000 in expenses per client that you're paying, that you're only getting $2,000 a month from. If you want to scale, you need to increase your prices. If you're going to increase your prices, you need to attract higher quality clients so that it makes sense, so that it's a no-brainer. Somebody making $20,000 a month should have absolutely no problem investing $8,000 into something that they know is going to double, if not triple, their monthly revenue. If you walk in with $20,000, you pay somebody $8,000, and now you're making $60,000 in the next 6 months, that is the best investment you could possibly make. That is genuinely a no-brainer investment, and you guys as the audience understand and you're agreeing, because if you're watching this far, you guys are seeing this process start to make sense. It's starting to make sense. You're seeing the flaws in either the cold outreach or the paid ads, and it's making sense. Look, you're spending money. Look, you're spending. I did it. I did the paid ads. I tried it, right? And we had some success. Yes, we signed some clients, but at the end of the day, nothing is going to beat the kind of flow and ebb and flow and ecosystem of organic content. It's just impossible. You cannot replicate it through paid acquisition methods unless you are sending paid traffic to your organic profile. And yes, that can be finicky, but when you have the profile set up properly, now you are able to amplify your reach using your capital, which is genuinely the smartest way that you could scale. Look, these two things have one thing in common, or a few things in common. You are always starting from zero with every single person. Every sale feels like a battle because the buyer is not ready when they find you. The problem isn't your offer, your price, or even your closing ability. I know so many of the best closers running ads and still struggling to collect cash on the call because the condition of the buyer is not met. When they have entered your world, when they have gone into your offer, you have not met the 7 conditions that I'm going to explain in order for them to convert. And that is just by design. It is not going to be possible. So let's just go into these. Number 1 is going to be trust. You know, some of these are very obvious. I won't take too long on the obvious ones, but I will go into more depth on the complicated ones. Cold outreach. You are literally a stranger in their inbox. You are never going to have trust if this is what they're seeing. Yo, Josh, sending this because I would love to work. No, I'm sorry, no, right? Paid ads, again, is an interruption in their feed, and they're going to have low trust. Without trust, here's what the buyer is thinking in their head. Why should I believe you? Why? If there's 100 other people that could do the exact same thing that you're doing now, why should I believe you? When they're on the call the entire time, they're primed into not wanting to buy. You don't have them in a buying mindset. And because trust cannot be manufactured in a single interaction, it has to be built over time. That's why this entire profile funnel that we are running right here works so well, is because if you look at my posts, I have been posting for months and months and months and months and months, and you can scroll back months and months and months and months, and I'm talking about the same mechanism for months. I wish it would load faster, but I want to show you guys. I'm going to scroll back all the way to maybe August, I think it was. I'm explaining, look, complete inbound lead strategy for agency owners. When was this video posted? November 29th. We are so far back. We are so far back. Why your content doesn't get leads for your agency. November 5th. We are going so far back into when I was... It's insane. The consistency that you've had for months and months and months and months and months talking about the exact same thing. And if you look here, like I said, I've been running this exact thing since June. I think this is June of 2025. We are in March. It's almost been a complete year getting clients the exact same way, refining it, understanding, working with different people in different niches. Like I just explained, these clients, making sure that theirs is going to work the exact same way. And that level of trust cannot be manufactured in a single interaction. If you just got on the sales call with me, you would not have the same trust that you would if you were watching my content for months. Next is going to be authority. Authority is different from trust. Trust is I think that what you're saying is true. Authority is I believe that you are the best person to be executing this for my business, right? And paying for ads can create a surface level appearance of authority, but price objections are almost always an authority problem, not a money problem. And authority has to be demonstrated. It cannot be claimed. I cannot just tell you I'm the best person for this. You need to understand through the way that I'm explaining things that this is through personal experience. There is no script for what I'm talking about. Yes, there's a framework here in front of me, but there is no script. When I look over, I'm looking at myself to see if I'm still in the camera. There is no amount of scripting that could really account for the personal experience behind these things. And having over a year of running this, not only for myself, but running it for dozens of other agencies and clients who sell high ticket, there is a level of depth and understanding that comes with these videos. With these videos, when you're talking about the same thing over and over and over and genuinely explaining the difference between certainty, wanting, having your ICP, your profile set up, it shows you demonstrating your authority, and that is completely different than an ad that just says, hey, I made $20,000 this week. I am actually able to show you in real time how the funnel works and how I'm able to collect this cash with such little clients. Okay. Value perception. This is a huge one. We're on to number 3, almost halfway done with these. It's not about explaining your offer clearly enough. It's whether the buyer deeply feels the cost of their current situation before they talk to you, right? Cold outreach interrupts people when they aren't thinking about their problem at the moment. Ads may make somebody aware of their problem, but when somebody's watching your content, they're able to feel. They're able to feel that you have reached a level that they have not yet. And that is, it's so emotional. You can read this here. Me closing $7,000 in total, $4,000 collected in the DMs. I didn't even have a single sales call to collect over $4,000. And I have the screenshots here. And I understand that the highest level of closing is actually making the close unnecessary. I am not a great salesman. I'm not a bad salesman, but my entire philosophy on this business model is that your marketing needs to be at the top of your priority. If you're prioritizing sales skills and are lacking on the marketing, just bringing anyone into the call, hoping that they will have, fall for your sales tricks, and you give a lot of pressure and you handle a lot of objections. I do not handle objections in my sales calls. I do not handle objections because all of the objections have already been handled because people have watched my content and consumed and seen my client results and understand who they need to be in order for this to work for them as much as they want it to. Next is going to be your desire. So desire is about the outcome. It's not about the service, and you cannot manufacture the desire from somebody. Desire has to come from the person already having the desire. What you can do, right? A buyer with desire is going to find the money, is going to make the time, is going to move fast. These are the best kinds of clients to have. And if you have worked with people without desire, you have pressured them, they stall. They're going to ask for discounts. They're going to ghost you after your sales call because they don't want it bad enough. You cannot convince somebody or reframe their mindset into wanting it. People either want it or they don't. How many sales calls have you got on with a business who says, well, I'm already making X amount of money. Why do I need to make more? Right? They say, well, I already have a team. I'm already doing $50K a month. I already run my own ads. We already have a 3X return. Why do I need you? They don't want to grow. They don't want it bad enough. And if you find yourself dealing with these people, it's because you're not attracting people who already have this desire. The content that I post does not create desire. It finds the people who already have it and makes them feel seen and accepted in the community because I am somebody with this desire. I am somebody with the desire to grow and the desire to accomplish things in my life and do a good job at it. That's why I'm sitting here explaining this to you for over 30 minutes, right? These are the only people that you want on a sales call anyway. You don't want people who are going to waste your time. Urgency is so important. Cold outreach manufactures fake urgency that nobody is ever going to believe, right? I'll go back to these. So many of these are talking about nothing. Talking about nothing. Even here, I'll tell this guy, give me a thumbs up if you saw the message or a thumbs down if I'm bugging you. I give him a thumbs down and he still keeps sending me. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This is just begging. It's begging and it's bad. Real urgency comes from the buyer's own awareness of their problem. If somebody wants to fix their problem, and if somebody is aware of their problem and understands what it's costing them every single day, if you are still running cold outreach and paid ads and you're not converting at the level that you want to, Every single day that you go by without implementing this system is going to be more money that you are missing out on. And it is abundantly clear through everything that I've shown you today, through all of the scaling that I've done in my own agency, from all of the cash that I collect on the daily basis through this exact system without running either of these, let alone if I added these on top, maybe I would collect a little bit more cash. But the whole point is that having this system is the foundation to having a strong and consistent high quality lead acquisition system. If you are creating the urgency, telling people I only have 2 spots left, you are selling to them. People hate being sold to. If they already have the urgency in their mind because they understand their own problems and the cost of not solving them, you are just closing the people on the solution that you have to provide. You guys can read this story sequence about me talking exactly what I've already done. If you don't understand this mechanism, you're just guessing, hoping that this post is going to be the one that finally clicks, wondering why some content gets you DMs and others get nothing. You could post 2 to 3 times daily for months, spend hours creating content, analyzing what worked, tweaking your approach, and it would be a complete waste of time because the foundational knowledge has not been built. That is so powerful. And when you say these things to the audience and you give them an out, you give them a solution, they are going to act on it because the urgency is not being manufactured. The urgency is true. The urgency is real. This story isn't creating urgency out of nowhere. It's amplifying the urgency that already exists in the people who are the right fit for working with me as clients. The wrong people are going to scroll past it. The right people are going to feel it deeply. Now, second to last one, this one is honestly the most important out of all of them. It is so overlooked. I'll just say it's one of the most important. Maybe it's the most underrated, but it's autonomy. I've made a complete video breaking down the psychology in the brain of why outreach and paid ads don't convert as well as organic content. But when we're talking about autonomy, it is about having the feeling that you are the one in control of making the choice. When you are actively choosing something, if you are actively still watching this video, after over 30 minutes, you have unlocked the autonomy. This is your choice. Nobody is forcing you to watch this. You are watching it because you understand the consequences of staying in your own situation, and you understand that needing to go into the next level is important for you in your life and your business. Human psychology resists being sold to. The moment that somebody feels pushed, they're going to pull back. It's just human nature. It's just human nature. Cold outreach by design is pushy. You are the one who initiated, you're the one asking, and you are the one following up. Look at this. Tell me that this does not scream, I want your money. This doesn't even say I want to help you. This is I want your money. I want you to pay me. Pick me. I'm going to text you every single day until I die because I want your money so bad. That is pushy, and that does not give me the feeling that I am in the one making the choice, the control. Business owners love this. That's why this whole system converts so well under any niche, is because business owners are constantly being sold to. Do you know how many cold calls a business owner gets a day? Do you know how many cold DMs a business owner gets a day? They just want to feel seen and like somebody understands their problems. And if you can be that person because you have an innate understanding of the niche that you're in, of the industry that you work in, you do understand their problems to a T. If I asked you right now the top 5 reasons that the businesses that you work with cannot scale, you could give me them. You could tell me exactly what their problems are, and that's what the market is missing. People who are able to relate to the business owners and not just actively trying to sell them, right? When a buyer feels like reaching out was entirely their own idea, the resistance is going to drop dramatically. They're going to close faster, they're going to pay more, and they're going to be easier to work with. Every single one of my clients executes at a level that I am extremely proud of, and I tell them that I am proud of them because they are actively putting in the work because they chose to make this decision, and they understand that things are not going to fall into their lap. When you beg people and when you push people, they are going to have this idea that you're doing the work for them. When they come to you, they understand that the work is what they have to do, and you are here to aid them in getting the result that they desire through helping them with their own work. Every single one of these people reached out to me first. Over the last 90 days, 704 total messaging conversations have been started. I have had over 100 meetings booked, okay? Over 100 meetings booked. I will let you do the math however you would like. This is going to change the dynamic of the sales conversation before it even starts because they are in complete control, right? They're in control of reaching out. Last one that I have not gotten to yet is the risk removal. This is different from a risk reversal, right? You can try and manufacture a risk reversal saying that, oh, I'll give you your money back. Oh, we have guarantees. Oh, everybody is selling with a risk reversal, but removing the actual risk is what's going to get rid of the hesitation that is going to be there, right? People are thinking, what if this doesn't work for me? Cold outreach leaves this entirely to the sales call with your risk reversal, saying 30 jobs in the next 30 days or you don't pay, 10 jobs in the next 30 days or you don't pay. That is a risk reversal, but a risk removal happens when there is so much proof before the call, there is familiarity built, and they feel like they already know you, that there is no way that you would let them down. You can look at this tab that I have on my Instagram with dozens of results, and I mean, it is so abundantly clear that what we do is so powerful and that it works time and time and time again. You can see zero cold calls, $0 spent on ads, 2 complete full calendar months of calls that have been booked completely organically, that are qualified and that are closing, and we are collecting cash from. You can look, I don't even know how much this car costs, right? People are buying their dream cars, doing everything they've wanted to, charging these, like I said, $5,000 deal, having multiple agreements signed before 10 a.m. because buyers are coming to them wanting to purchase. 3 days, 4 new clients, $5.6 thousand in monthly recurring revenue. Here we go. I watch all of your videos. 10K cash collected just from inbound on the front end. That is not including how much he is going to be getting in commissions every single month from these, I don't even know how many clients, right? Probably, 5 to 10 clients is ridiculous. So when someone has watched 30 days of you, your stories, your videos, they feel like they know exactly how you think, how you operate, and what working with you is like. As you are watching this video, you're 35 minutes in, you probably have an understanding of how much I would be able to help you and what it would look like implementing the system, because I've not only broken down the problems with the current methods, but also how the new methods that I am implementing work and that other people are trying to reverse engineer and sell to you as well, because they haven't done it themselves. They're trying to hop on trends, right? This has been what I've done since the very beginning. I can show you the TikTok lives. I can show you the videos that I post. You can go back on my page. You can go on my TikTok. You can scroll. This is how I've always done things. I have always stayed true to this one singular mechanism. And you can have an understanding of that. The familiarity is going to eliminate the fear of the unknown, which is what most objections are actually rooted in. When there is not clarity in how you work and what the result is going to be and what the time frame is and how everything is going to function for them in their day-to-day life, there are going to be objections that come up, whether it's about price, whether it's about needing to think about it, whether it's about talking to other people. By the time they get on the call with you, the risk in their mind is already gone. These are the 7 conditions that the buyer needs to meet. And I'm just going to show you as an overview what cold outreach looks like with these conditions and what paid ads look like with these conditions, right? Cold outreach. You don't build any trust. You have no authority. They don't understand the value. You don't have any risk removal. You can have a risk reversal, not the same thing. You can try and manufacture urgency, but again, it feels forced. There's no desire innately by the customer because you are going to them. They are not aware of their problem in the moment. They're not reaching out because they feel the pain. And there's no autonomy. So you're getting maybe 1 out of the 7. This is why cold outreach feels so hard to convert with. You can send more messages, yes. You can have better scripts, yes. You can have better setters, yes. You can try and push volume. Volume negates luck to an extent, but this isn't luck, right? These are conditions that need to be met, and you can, hope that somebody will buy off of just this one, but statistically you're wasting time. Next is paid ads. No trust. You can manufacture this level of authority, but again, it's still not the same of someone seeing it demonstrated in front of them. Value perception. Nope. Risk removal. Nope. Urgency. Kind of. You can manufacture it. Desire, no, and autonomy can be kind of manufactured because they're choosing to engage with the ad, but at the same time, you are forcing it to be shown in front of them, so there is that level of uncertainty there. So this is why every sale is so fucking hard. You're walking into every call with only 1 to 3 out of these 7 necessary buying conditions, and in the call, you're going to have to fix all of these. Everything that is missing here is what you are going to face in the objections in the call, and why each close is going to be so hard, and why your close rate is so low. And even if your close rate is high, you are probably spending so much time in the sales call instead of having to take 20-minute sales calls like I do. My sales calls are short because people come in already understanding everything that I'm going to provide, as well as everything that is going to happen in the future, and they already know that they want to work with me because of the organic content. The math on the conversion will never work out until this changes. And like I said, you can push people towards your content through these two channels, which is completely fine. But without this foundation of the content and of understanding how to do these sequences, how to post these videos, how to funnel everything into these qualified meetings, and how to actually charge what you're worth in order to hit these $20,000 weeks and continue to scale, right? I actually had to, for the first time in my business, stop onboarding clients. I had too much demand to work with me because of the results that I was getting for my clients that I had to stop. And I had to I had to upgrade my service delivery so that I could actually work and get results for more clients because so many people wanted this exact mechanism, right? And that is the power of content and social media and personal branding and understanding the conditions that your buyers need to meet in order to work with you. Because without that, I would never have hit my temporary ceiling. $20,000 in a week, one-man team, just me. I did the setting, I did the closing, 100% profit margins. I took the sales calls, I did the service delivery. It was a fucking lot, okay? I'll be honest, it was a lot. And that's why we're actually onboarding and taking the necessary steps to move forward and move up in the proper way. That's why I didn't continue to onboard more clients and stretch myself too thin with service delivery, and that I actually went out and built something that is going to increase the results that my clients are going to get instead of limit and hinder the results that they're going to get, because I prioritize client results over everything, which is why I have an abundance of them here. That's why I have an abundance of them here, and that's why the conversion is so strong. When you look at organic content, the trust is there, the authority is there, the value perception is there, risk removal is there, the urgency is there, the desire is there, and the autonomy is there. It is incomparable to any other acquisition method because it actually hits all of these 7 buying conditions that your audience and your buyers and your prospects and your clients need to have in order to want to work with you. And this system has worked for me, has worked for dozens of my clients. Whether you are only running cold outreach, only running paid ads, but you have a foundation, you have clients, you have testimonials, and you're looking for the mechanism that is going to allow you to scale, this is it. If you have any questions on what to take as far as next steps, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. I would honestly highly recommend following me on Instagram. You can take so much ideas and inspiration from the videos that I'm posting, and it will help you and it will aid you in growing this system for yourself. If you are already pre-sold and you would like to get onboarded as a client to implement this for you directly, one-on-one with me, there is a link in the description. If you are not, please do not book a call or attempt to book a call. Just continue to go through the content and doing what you're doing while you realize that this is not as scalable as you'd like. And in 2 months, when you feel like you have wasted time and your revenue hasn't grown as much as you'd like, my calendar will still be open for you to come in. And I can't say that it will be any cheaper because we are having so many people want to get onboarded. Demand is rising. Close rates are so high. We need to give what the market wants. The market wants us to charge more. We're going to charge more. And that's exactly how your service should be as well. There's no reason that you should only be charging $2,000 a month. You should be charging at least $5,000. And that is exactly what this system will allow you to do with qualified buyers every single day. Well, that's everything from me, and I'm looking forward to talking to you on the call if you're serious about actually growing your business, and I am the exact person that you are looking for.